Welcome out to another edition of Classic Model Trains. This week, we're going to put together this little fella right here. We're going to get him going. We're going to get him running. I chose this one because I don't know what it is. It's an interesting looking locomotive. I know it was sent in by a fella named Gary Rourke out of the Florida area there. And I know that it's made by AHM Tempo, and that's it. So let's figure out what this is, get it going again. I'm not going to test it out on the track, so it'll probably burn up a motor if I do. So let's see what it's going to take to identify what it is, who it's made by, where it came from, and what's going to take to fix it. So let me show you what I do to identify what these locomotives are, what they're worth. We're going to go to the world's greatest search engine for model train stuff. And that's going to be the eBay over here. Looking at the bottom of this thing, it does say made in Yugoslavia, and some of you may or may not know who that is. AHM, and it also says Tempo on the bottom. So we're going to go with AHM because we all kind of know what that is, Associated Hobby Manufacturers. And it says M-O-N-O-N, Monin. This one right here. So I'm going to type in AHM, see, and I've already got it in because I looked at it once. Munyon locomotive. And this is what comes up. And you can see that there's a couple different variations of it. So you sit there and you look at your locomotive and you match it up with the ones that are on the screen. And it's just like, looks like a couple of these over here. It says that it's a BL-2. Okay. So we've got RS2s and BL2s. This must be worth $1 million, isn't it? It's gotta be. It looks like it's rare. So now that we've got it kind of narrowed down, let's put in that it's a BL-2 Munyon locomotive. See how many of them are out there. Well, Bachmann makes them. Looks the exact same. Of course it would. Vintage, colorful AHM. Scroll down here. Go to sold items, completed items. And now we can find that the AHM Tempo HO scale Munyon locomotive, oh, this guy made $13.95 on it. Holy. Protos, which you'd think would get more than 50 bucks, but hey, this one's worth 10. Sure. This guy got 25 out of that one for some reason. Holy moly. Proto, okay, so you see, this is how we price out what the stuff is and how we figure out what it is. So now I know it's a BL-2 locomotive. Not that I need to know what it is to work on it, but it's nice to know what it is. Let's open this thing up and see what it's going to take. Let's take a little gander at this BL-2 that we've got here. What kind of condition is it in? So far, I'm noticing that it's got handrails on the back end, handrails on the front end, so that's better than 75% of my locomotives that I have. Must have been laying in the package on this side because it discolored that gold stripe there. That's too bad right there. Horn up on the hood, so that's not broken off. The shell could use a little washing. I see that. Hope when I wash it, it doesn't wash this stripe off. Looking underneath here, it looks like we got nickel silver wheels that are absolutely filthy. 2 traction tires right there that are going to be hard as rock, which is fine because you can get traction tires off the eBay. And then we got some screw-on gear covers right here. That's a bonus. Broken front coupler. Can't move if it wanted to. And this one back here, the spring is out of it. We'll have to see if we can put some Cadies on this thing. Under here, it says made in Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia's train manufacturing company is called Mehano Technica. Right nowadays, we usually call it Mehano because you see the word Mehano Technica spelled out. It doesn't look like it says that at all. Yugoslavia used to be called Yugoslavia, but now it's called Slovenia because they had an uprising out there. So the new ones that are made in Slovenia are from the same company, Mehano. AHM and Tempo, I guess I'll have to read up on those. AHM never made anything. They just imported stuff and they branded it to AHM. Looks like this one comes off like the old Atherton Blue boxes. Just give the shell a spread and she opens right up. Plastic windshields and windows set in up over here. Yeah, that worked. We got the one power truck with the vertical armature in it right here. This does happen to look like it's a 5-pole motor. Huge bonus. Light up here, which is completely missing. It's like your ground would be coming in from here. I wonder what this screw is for. Is that just there just to hold that wire? That seems excessive. That's going to come out right there. This one's going to come out. Of course, as you know, I'm going through this for the very first time ever right now. As usual, I've never done too many of the same exact locomotive twice. What's this going to do? Is it not going to come out? Looks like it probably doesn't want to because it's bent over right up over here. That was not very tight. So we can just roll that out. Sure. Yeah. Okay. This is our dummy truck, which is absolutely filthy. Need just a bit bigger screwdriver here. For some reason, they've got two different kinds of screws on this thing. Broken washer. Oh, we got a one screw. Where in Lord's name did that come from? Shoot! Well, that did it. There's why that screw was completely different. Actually, I don't know at all. Dang it. They're using the front wheels as a pickup, is what they were doing. I'm going to have to pay a little closer attention to the rear truck because this one just fell apart and I didn't see really what was happening. I know the wheels were in it. We can see that the wheels go in a certain direction because there's an insulator right here. So we'll have to both put those on the right side, the same side, make sure it's on the correct side. This had a pickup going on inside of it, probably underneath these wheels. This is the feller that came up from the bottom. It was holding all this together with the screw that went in there. Those are the two that held the truck on. A bolt there. Sure, I think we got it now. This would come out if I took this bend out right here. Dare I? I shall. Yup. This weight is stuck in here because they melted the plastic over it to hold it in. Let me try to take this one apart just a little bit more controlled. Nut, screw on the coupler side. See, the lower cover's already starting to fall off on me. Pop this one out. Let's get the cover off without everything else falling out. Traction tires are on the engineer's side. Wait, no, this is backwards. This is at the back. Traction tires are on the fireman's side. Look at this mess of stuff. That is a heck of a gear reduction. And the insulated side is also on the fireman's side. So when we go to put the front trucks in, we want to put the insulator on the engineer's side. Yes. Messy, filthy. The gears, it's like they're all going towards the fireman's side also. What is this screw doing in there? Why is that in there? I didn't even take it off. Nothing's even loose. Why? This coupler is just flapping in the wind and the truck is partially broken. Sure. Is there like a pin that holds that? Here it is up here and it's broken out right there also. We ain't got, what are we gonna do for couplers? This job just got tough. Here's that plate, a plate. Some sort of plate down there. That's doing the pickup for the motor. Okay. We're going to get the big boy locomotive chisel tip off of here and get down to the smaller one so we can do HO things. I see 4 screws. So if I pop these 4 out, is that going to get our motor out of there? I'm going to find out. If it's got a screw, I'm taking it out. And the 4th one. I knew it would be like that. I just knew it. This has got metal pickups in it. That's what that's doing right there. Did any of those screws come out? No. Oh, 2 did. Wonder where they went. Oh, they're right there stuck to the motor. Sure. 4 of them that look like this. Yeah, those are a battle. Absolute battle to get out. Now we're down to our chassis. So that could be cleaned up. We got the gimbal action right here, because just remember this is rigidly bolted into the frame, so this would allow this truck to move up and down. Pivot back and forth like this, but it's looking like this worm gear in here is pressed on. I can't take it out. I can take these 2 out, which would get our top cover off, but then our magnets are going to be exposed, and we can lose the magnetism because these little fellers here are not going to be in there. Not that that's a big deal because we can remagnetize it. There's just a lot going on in here. Our insulator right here, still on the fireman's side. This little spring, that looks like something that is going to shoot across the room. 1 brush. This is a well-used model right here. That insulator that keeps the spring from shorting out, the tension spring for these brushes. There ain't much left of that at all. There's a hole in this right here that this V-shaped spring is in. Don't lose this. That guy right there. Sure. This one came off this side. It was sitting in like that. Let's just see what's underneath here. I've come this far. Yes, about what I expected. 2 of these. Okay, our magnet is still in there. That's a bonus. That keeps these contained. 5-pole motor, very, very filthy. This worm gear is threaded on the inside of it, which tells me that there's probably a puller available. You'd screw that bolt in, hold this armature, and you could pry that off. But do I want to? Now, do I need to? Not really. It's really taken apart now, so a guy could put this in the ultrasonic and clean it up. I wonder if these pickups are gonna come out of this truck. These metal pickups right here. I don't think so. I mean, there's no reason to. I'm gonna warm up the ultrasonic and just put it all in a bag and throw it in there because this is filthy. This would take many, many hours time to manually clean with a Q-tip, and cleaning up with a Q-tip and some odorless mineral spirits. It can certainly be done, but goodness. We'll take the fast way out. I got all the parts in here. I separated it out, front truck and the rear truck, and I'm just gonna use some simple green 50-50 mix in here to get the grease and everything off. The last video when we had that original Marks armature where it shorted out, somebody considered that maybe we shorted it out because of the ultrasonic cleaning. And we're gonna test this one out before we start. The segments, you can barely see them in here because they're so filthy, but you can see where they're up here, the top of them. So I can go through each one. We're looking for continuity in between them. Okay, so it'll come out. But here's the ground. So as long as I don't touch the other segment, quit it. We can check these and see that this is not shorting to ground. 2 more to go. All right, so we can give that another test when it's all said and done, because the ultrasonic cleaner doesn't take the enamel or the clear. That's what makes magwire is it's insulated with a thin coat of something that I can't think of right now because of my way my brain works. I put these in here, and it's still cold right now. We want all of it to be warmed up. So when the simple green is cold and the water's cold, let these come up to temperature. We're going to put it at about 100 to 105 Fahrenheit to do the degreasing portion. We'll probably run it about 10 minutes. It's going to take this a while to get warm, so I'll do other things like wash the bodies. A little bit of soap and warm water and a toothbrush here to whoop this into shape. I put the Dawn dish soap in here, thinned out. I find it easier to spray it on. I got to bring you in here and show me washing these things every now and then because I have a tendency to wash the sink whenever it's on camera. So it's the only way I ever get the bathroom cleaned is by filming in here. You guys got to do what you got to do to keep your motivation up, I guess. I like these handrails because they're obviously sturdy. And whatever is over here, that blue, I'm not able to scrub off. Dang it. Catch the insides because they're usually full of grease from being over lubricated and it's splashed all around. The back of it is back here quite a bit. Yeah, it's going to look better than new. Get that chassis whooped into shape. Little grease inside there. Yeah. And I'll put these over here to dry on this bath mat here that looks like I stole it from a Holiday Inn Express 10 years ago. And after a short little 10 minutes in the ultrasonic, we will rinse these off and get them drying. I use this colander here to catch all the pieces parts. I don't want to root around and lose them. I also kind of leave the bags just hanging out in case you left a part in it and you didn't really realize it. You can come back to it and look and see. Oh, sure, this magnet picked up all the little pieces parts. Well, that's good. It's a strong magnet then. Armature cleaned up nice. Everything cleaned up really nice. Them ultrasonics are just the absolute bomb. Let all this stuff dry up some. I'm just kind of making a quick inventory of everything, making sure it's there. Yeah, not looking bad. When I first saw this thing, I didn't know what it was. Then when I found out it's a BL-2 and looking at that roof line on the thing, I just assumed it was an Alco. Then I did the research on it. Turns out the thing was made by General Motors Electromotive Division. There are 58 of these particular units made between 1947 and 1949, including one BL-1. Turns out these things being switchers, they weren't very successful at all. EMD had a lot of success with their F and E unit, what they call a car body design. The shells on them were built like a car. Like there's a skin, there's a skeleton underneath of them. They riveted panels on, they were roundy. They call them car bodies. The BL-2 was a car body design switcher. The problems with the E units and the F units for that particular style being used as a switcher is that you didn't have any vision behind you. They were wide and you couldn't see anything going on, so they were difficult to switch with. By 1948, Alco, Baldwin, and Fairbanks Morris, they had come up with road switchers that were cut. They were shorter, they were narrower. Some of them were just the back of the cab was cut off. and you could just look behind you and you could see the whole dang thing. They were really, really nice. And these are what are called hood units. That's why, you know, the skinny long with the cab kind of sitting, that's where all this began from. It's either a cab unit or a hood unit. Of course, all the things nowadays are called hood units, generically, except for bullet trains. They're not. What I think about the competitors' switcher locomotives is the fact that they had, you know, walkways on them so you could walk back and forth and take care of switching duties. And they also had high-speed, larger trucks on them, so they could be kind of used for a little bit of short-haul deliveries. The first BL-1 was EMD demonstrator number 499, built in September of 1947. There's only one of these made, and it didn't have the ability to do any MU operations on it. That's where you can operate both diesel electric locomotives from one cab. The BL in the model name stood for branch line. The engineering boys figured that this thing was good for light traffic and switching chores. The BL-1 had a lightweight underframe and it had smaller draft gears on it, so it wasn't very heavy duty. And of course, like I said before, it didn't have the ability to MU. The BL-2s, they updated the frame, they put full-size, big, heavy-duty draft boxes on them, and it had the ability to MU. BL-1, BL-2, visually the same. They look identical to each other. Some of the things that led to the demise of the BL line of locomotives was that they had several mechanical and just visual, the way they looked, the drawbacks to them. They weren't very pretty. These were expensive to build because of the car body design, the truss and skin, means that the whole thing had to be built in one area. You couldn't, you know, assemble half here, ship it someplace else, assemble the other half. Had to stay in one shop and be built from beginning to end. The fact that it didn't have walkways on it like the hood units do, it was difficult for the crews to maintain and work on these things. Little hatches, standing on the ground, standing on scaffolding, whatever it was, they're difficult to get into and do things. Mechanics were brilliant. Since it was a car body design, it didn't have the walkways on it like the hoods, so that the crew couldn't walk back and forth on the locomotive to the front, to the back, to operate the couplings. Made it crabby that way as a switcher. At least the engineers upstairs listened to everything that was wrong with the BL-2, and when they designed their next switcher, the GP7, they put all the right things into it and made one of the more popular switchers that's ever been made. Interesting history on these things right here. I love looking this stuff up and finding out things about them. We've come to an excellent time in this video to throw in Classic Model Train's Classic Model of the Week. Do you guys know who this is? If you do, write in the comments down below. If you don't, hang out till the end. I'll let you know who it is. Let's get back to getting this thing assembled, see if we can make it run. Here we are with all the parts all cleaned up, separated out. We got rear truck over here, power truck, front truck over here. And this is just fresh out of the ultrasonic and dry. So we got to keep maintaining it, working on it, seeing what it's going to still need. Get some tools out here. For some reason, I had an extra nut that I found inside the rear truck. And then after it was all said and done, I found this in the bag of stuff. And so we'll keep that off to the side. We'll keep that in mind. But there's something definitely wrong here. We don't need the wires yet. We don't need the front truck stuff yet. We don't need the chassis yet. I want to see if this magnet is strong enough to do what I want it to do. And the way I just do it is I just put see if it'll hang off of my screwdriver here. And that is weak. In my book, that's going to need to be remagged. These wheels here, they're dirty. So we got the fiberglass pencil that we could use to kind of whip them up into shape right in through here. You can find a link to these down in the description section of my video, which is accessible by computer and or cell phone, smartphones. Faster way to do it would be with a Dremel. These guys here, rotary abrasive discs, they're also down in the description section for an Amazon Associates link. This one here is a 220 grit. We don't want to do that at all. I want to get up into the 1000. We want to polish. We don't want to put any micro pits on there. They are color coded, so I want the light green. Now that we got the bit all changed out here, see what it's going to do for us. So I really want these to be shiny all the way around. Oh yeah, so much faster. Here's what I just did. Here's what it looks like. We're gonna get in down here too and clean up these axles. They conduct the juice, so we need it to transfer well. Clean up there. We'll see if we can kind of zing it up along these metal rails here so we can get the best flow of electrons that we can. I got the wheel surfaces all cleaned up, and I tried to go after the axle and then the outer surfaces because they've got some corrosion on them. And it appears that 1000 grit didn't have enough bite to it. So I'm going to slip down to a 400 and see if we can get this get this off because it just looks bad. If you're gonna do it, I guess. So I'll polish on these and use this on the axles also. That 1000 just wasn't cutting it very well at all. We did the front wheels also, but they've got the side wheels are ick. Look at this one. It's black. I don't even know if that's gonna come out, to tell you the truth. We're gonna give it the old college try though. We got all the wheels and axles all cleaned up. Now I want to address this magnet right here. And it just keeps getting weaker and weaker. This is a Ronald Dobbs remagnetizer right here. They come from the UK. We want to see which side this magnet is the north on. And the red is pointing over here. So it's pointing at this side being the north side. We got to put it in like that. I'm going to see if I can leave it inside of this. And I'm hoping that the magnetic's just magnetic through it. And I'll be able to tell because it'll stick to my screwdriver a lot better. Could be wrong. Might not work. See what it does. I gave it about 4 or 5 zaps there. No. So I found every time you take these out, then it's just, it loses its magnetism like nobody's business. Maybe if I did it fast enough or something like that. I argued with guys about it initially. See if we can nail it like this. Oh. Yeah, okay. Put this assembly back in here. I think that's all we're going to get out of it. Time to start getting out all of our lubricants here. We're going to use a little Super Lube, multi-purpose synthetic grease. I can touch up, oh my God, enough in here to work with for days. I can give it just a little taste up here on this armature shaft, this top one here, where the bushing is going to ride. Right up in here. Don't need much. I see it's got a wick down inside there also, so it can be oiled once it's going to be all said and done. I didn't clean this up very well. The commutator is still pretty dirty. Get this stuck out real far to get down in there. That's one of the smallest commutators, or narrowest, thinnest I've ever seen. That ought to get us going. And we also want to check to make sure that the ultrasonic cleaning process didn't burn off all the enamel on the mag wire. So we'll go to ground, and I'm going to touch the contacts. No. No, no, 2 more. This one, no. So I have reason to believe that this is still going to function. We've got a lower bushing down in here, way down. Give it a little bit of Earl. Hopefully that leaks through, it does what it can. The magnet is grabbing everything up here. It's grabbing that armature. Making it hard to get this all in there and seated. Maybe these screws will help it out. All right, well, that's gonna help line them up. Armature is still turning. Let's give this guy just a little oil down through here, this wick. Seeing as how I'm thinking about it, I'm just right here. I've seen him spin a lot easier, that's for sure. Here's our brushes spring. It's gonna go through here. It's gonna aim backwards. This side over here had the insulator on it. We'll throw that in again. Here's our brushes. When I was wire wheeling the wheels, I come through here and I cleaned up all these. It's where it picks up its juice from. This is our front brush pickup for the power. It's going to go in under here. Get our brush in here. And then we'll get our brush spring out where it belongs. Brush looks like it's up against there. This has all been cleaned up. There's a recess that holds these copper strips in right here. You got to get it down low enough to get those in. There's a lot going on. Fight this brush spring. Well, the brush spring is in there with the brush on it. Should be able to hook the juice up to it right now and make that motor spin. See if we got anything worth working with. Sure. That's a working unit right there. Feels like it needs to be broke in. Give her a while like this. I think it's gonna come around more and more. Well, we can continue on with the wheels and gears. It's like we put these wires all up through here. And if I remember right, this guy came through like this. Get that plate in there like it's supposed to. Then we can put these 4 little screws in like this. Throw them in there, but leave them loose until you get all 4 of them started. So that way you don't put it in there just a little crooked and then the rest of the screws won't go in. It's an old Norwegian trick I learned from this German guy. Let's see here. This is the fireman side right there. So when we put our wheels in, I want to put the insulated side this direction. Plus we're going to put in just a touch of multi-purpose synthetic lubricant right through here, the Super Lube. Just some here for the axles and the idler gears. Plus I want to give this worm here something to start off with. Remember these? We had the two smaller ones, and then the larger gear was farthest away from the worm. And they're going to go in like this, towards the gear side right here. And they don't just drop in. Of course that one just did, just to make a fool out of me. This idler. Then our last one, that's what they were going to look like right there. I took off the traction tires because they were hard. Yes, here they are right here. Crunchy. Those ain't going to do us any good at all. And I always got a handful of traction tires available. You can get them off eBay. They do sell them in different sizes. I just buy one of everything. Did I just... Yeah, I just shot that across the room somewhere. Get on the needle nose. Prime up and down and around. Get them off the needle nose. There's a traction tire installed. Let me do that with the one that I lost. I'm sure I'll find it sooner or later. We're going to get a little Super Lube on the gears just to get them started. Does it look like a lot? Yeah, because I've got it magnified like 400 times. That's why it looks like a lot. This screw right here goes on the non-coupler side. I'd call this like a wood screw, not a machine screw. And there's one truck put in. Oh, we got to solder this red wire back over on here. This guy went up front to our pickup. Let's get on this front truck here. It's got two holes in here because it's probably front or back. They use the exact same assembly, and it's only going to fit in one way. And of course, I didn't pay any attention whatsoever when I took it apart because that's what I do. So let's see what we need to do here. I cleaned up this copper strip when I was cleaning up the wheels, and I know that this is going to go in here. I know it's going to go in like this. And I'm going to use the rearward one just to see if that lines up with everything that we're trying to do here. And I'm going to say that's a positive. It sticks out just as much on the front as the back. So let's get this in. I cleaned this up, both sides of it, so we get good juice flow. And then this guy just had this simple nut on it. Try to get all this going. Things got to be lined up. Sure. Yeah, I like it. Give it just a little bit of Super Lube down inside here for these axle journals. So we put the insulated sides in. You can see that they're over here, fireman side. So we're going to put the insulated sides on the opposite side so we get good juice pickup. So these are on the engineer side. We've got a plate. Took these washers out of my collection because the other ones were broken or missing, and they need to have a washer on these. This screw here and this copper plate come down through here, and they use the copper plate up in here to hold all this together because the couplers were broken out, so they needed to have it backed up to have some meat to it to hold all this. So I'm going to have to do some creative brainstorming here and see what we need to do to make couplers for this, because we're missing them on the front and the back. Should actually be a runner right now. I guess I should see if it's going to run before I spend 27 hours making couplers for it. So let's just take a gander. Well, I got my test track set up over here because this is the only track that I've got here at the house that I got stuff because it might okay. The big one's up across town somewhere. Fire, come on, baby. See if we can get this thing to go. Come on, let's do it. Come on. Yes. Come on. Yes. Yes. Come on. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let me settle in there a little bit. What do we have here? Twist the knob. Oh, sure. Absolutely. It's actually pretty quiet. So it's time to invest some time into doing something with them couplers. So what I've got here is a 242, it's the old black box, just a standard, and then KD148 standard whisker coupler. So this makes a complete unit all by itself. And all I got to do is get it to fit in this right here. So I guess I'll start to do some carving somewhere. I got this and I got this. And if I do some creativeness, open up this hole, carve it back in there a little bit, I can cut the end of that draft box off, and then the hole, we'll put a bolt through that, through this, and up into here. We'll probably have to glue like a bread clip on there or something to give it some meat up in this area, because there is nothing on these things. They're so broken out. So there's a will, there's a way. I just hope it's not too low. Well, we'll work on it. We'll find out. We got to get going. So here's what I've come up with. I cut the back of the box off. Okay, you know, instead of buying these things from the drugstore and you get like 3 for $3, you can get these from Amazon in different grits on different sites. You get like 10 for like $1.50. I don't know how we ever did anything before Amazon. Goodness. Well, I know we did. We kept local businesses in business. I carved all this out, all this area up in here. So you see it's kind of a big C-shaped thing. This has got to be clamped down to hold all the gears in there. And then we put this guy in. I shaved off the lip around the front here so that we can get the hole to line up through there. A bolt is going to go in there. I put it on my track so I could work it with the coupler height gauge. And I see that it's got to be sticking up just some, like this much. So it lines up. So you can see that that box is sticking up a little bit in there. And now I'm going to get some CA and I'm going to run it in there and I'm going to glue the box in, but I'm going to leave the lid not glued in. And then when the bolt is through it, you can unbolt the nut. You can take the lid off if you have to replace the coupler. See, I gave it a thought. I thought it all the way through. And when it's all said and done, it comes out looking like this. I had to put some longer couplers in the long shank because the box was back too far and then the coupler wasn't quite. So this is front, rear. Sure. Oh, I had to file the back down right there. Some. I'll probably have to file it down. I didn't do that in the front yet. And then these little plastic tabs right here, these what hold the body on. They lock into these. They're broken. So I'm going to drill it, tap it for 256, and use just a couple small little bolts to hold the body on, and we'll be ready to run it down the road. Sure, nice little runner right there. Absolutely. Quick little couple-day project right there, knocking it out. For you sharp-eyed fellers that noticed that front coupler didn't even stuck out past the front of the locomotive because even the long one was too short. I seen that at the end. I'm like, I just ain't got time. It's 8 o'clock on Sunday. I got to finish editing this thing. Plus, I got something really neat to show you. I got the 33% club mugs finally. Somebody suggested that we do these. And I decided that I wanted to make each one of them different. See, this one here says it's the original 5 from Billings, Montana. That would be the president, vice president of the chapter or the club of the specific town. Well, if you order these up, I'm going to have these for sale right now. $12 plus shipping. Email me at classicmodeltrains@aol.com. Put your phone number in it. That's the important part. I'll call you up. We'll talk. I'll put your town on it. Your town name that you're from will be on the cup. It's got the logo on this side. I updated it just a tiny little bit. And a 33% club over here, original 5. This is kind of a motorcycle club inspired patch kind of thing going on over here. I wish I could have got this out there and ran it on that club layout, but now it's DCC permanent. And I'm going to rig up another control system like what I've got over here where I can go DC or DCC with a series of analog switches and meters and gauges and fun stuff. So I can make any track on there, either DCC or DC. And by track, I mean loop. It's got 4 separate circuits, 4 separate loops on it. Yeah, because, you know, DC engines, they want to run on the big stuff too, I think. Our classic model of the week, Claudia Schiffer. 5'11" tall gal from the Germany area out there. She's an actress, model, entrepreneur, and I believe she was born in 1970, so that'd make her around 55 years old in this picture right here. All our 33%ers out there now can have a 33%er club mug. Plus, I want to thank all the channel members out there for your support. Subscribing to the channel with the channel membership out there is helping me pay for the rent for the large club layout that's stored up in a shed up that way about 2 miles. I'm going to finish up editing this thing and hit the upload button, so thanks for hanging out with me. If you want to check out another Mehano manufactured locomotive, check out this video right here. Bye-bye.